Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Are you wired but tired, losing a ton of weight or gaining a ton of weight, and it doesn't make sense? Your appetite's off. You're either super hungry all the time or you have no appetite whatsoever. Your hair's falling out, your hormones are off, your thyroid's off, but it doesn't make sense. It might be this hormone called cortisol that needs to be addressed. Welcome to Accelerated Health with Sara Banta, where I cut through the noise and fast track your journey to better health. I'm your host, CEO and founder of Accelerated Health Products and certified by the National Association of Nutritional Professionals. I'm here to share the latest on supplements, wellness hacks, and natural health solutions that your doctor's not telling you about. From boosting energy to detoxing to balancing hormones and everything in between, I will help you reach your optimal health. So let's dive in. What is cortisol? It's this hormone that gets a bad rap. It's often misunderstood, but you need it. I love cortisol when it works in the right way. It's produced by the adrenal glands, these small little organs perched on top of the kidneys. That's why when you're stressed and they are working really hard, your kidneys inflame and your kidneys regulate your water, and you might become really heavy with water, a lot of water retention, edema. That is my first sign that I need to lower my stress. Cortisol is the primary stress hormone. Helps your body to respond to physical, emotional, mental stress, all of it. The adrenal cortex and the adrenal medulla work in harmony to release this cortisol just at the right times, ensuring your body can adapt to that tiger that's running after us, to that finals that you're coming up to that big presentation you're doing, or you've got a loved one that's sick. The sympathetic nervous system is responsible for that fight or flight response, which triggers the release of cortisol during those stressful situations. It's that hormone where you hear about this, really small kid being able to lift a car to save their parent, things like that, because cortisol gives you Superman strength. But it does so much more than just help you with stress. It plays a key role in regulating your blood pressure, keeping your blood sugar in check. I have seen my own blood sugar go up without changing my food, without eating sugar, just from stress. It also can cause leaky gut and gut issues, and it supports your metabolism when it's doing the right thing. Your adrenals and your thyroid work together. When they're balanced, you feel energized, you focused, resilient. It pops you out of bed in the morning, which is great. So you're not feeling tired when that alarm clock goes off. But it can throw, that stress, if there's too much of it, can throw this whole balance off kilter. And so then you might be really tired, but you can't go to sleep. Really tired and you don't want to get out of bed. You are feeling inflamed. Your hair's falling out. Your gut just doesn't feel right. You actually could have leaky gut and bloated even if you don't eat. And then there's those of you that like to stress eat and you eat too much and you're reaching for the junk food, not the good food. So understanding how cortisol works and why it matters really empowers you to take charge of your stress response. Because let me clue you in. Your stress is always going to be there. There's always going to be a reason to stress. That's what life's all about. It's how you handle it. And as we're talking through this and you're thinking, I have so many stressors on my plate right now, I can't deal. Think about it this way. Your stressors are going to be on your plate. Regardless, we're not changing that. Are you going to see them as a 10 or as a 1? Because regardless of which way you see your stressor, you're going to get through it and it's going to pass because time keeps going on. So let's try to look at our stressors as a 1 so that we can get that cortisol back in check. And I promise you, you'll feel better. You'll be able to handle your stress better and handle what life throws at you. So keep that in mind as we're talking through this. So cortisol often gets painted as that bad guy, like I've talked about. but it helps you get up in the morning. It helps keep your blood sugar stable and your brain getting that fuel it needs. It supports your immune system. Have you ever noticed that during finals week, you don't get sick? But it's the week after when you show up at Thanksgiving vacation or Christmas vacation, that's when you get sick. Or you have that really stressful week at work or with a child, and you don't get sick until you're able to breathe and the stress kind of diminishes a little bit. That's because the acute cortisol and the acute stress increases your immune system. But when you have chronic cortisol, that's when your immune system takes a hit. So you can fight infection initially, but then not afterwards. It helps modulate your inflammation, heal faster. It helps regulate your blood pressure when it's working right. But it can make your blood pressure worse and your heart health worse if it's chronic. That's why they always say stress kills. It does if it's chronic. So what really causes low cortisol? Because when we're talking about the cortisol reset, there was some confusion with, well, I don't have high cholesterol or high cortisol. I have low cortisol. Well, you have low cortisol because it's been high for so long that your body just says, I'm out. There's no gas in the gas tank anymore. I'm burning fumes right now. It's not there. So we need to balance it out. Not too high, not too low. It's Goldilocks. So low cortisol is rarely the start of the problem. It's the final stage after months or years of stress and overdrive. This condition is known as in functional medicine as the HPA, hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis dysregulation. Now, for cortisol levels to be regulated effectively, the hypothalamus, pituitary, and the adrenals must be functioning properly and communicating properly. And they also talk to the HPT axis, the hypothalamus, pituitary, thyroid axis. The thyroid and the adrenals talk a lot. And they're going to affect your metabolism, your fat burning, your hair growth, your brain, all those things. When one's out of whack, it affects the other. So here's the step-by-step progression. You've got step one where you're in overdrive. This is chronic stress. Emotional, physical, chemical forces the adrenals to pump out more cortisol to keep you going. Then you've got that compensation phase where the thyroid slows down. Hey, we're burning up a lot of fuel. We're going to slow down. I don't know if I'm getting into a famine coming up or chased by a tiger or what. I need to save my calories. And I also need to protect these expensive organs around my gut. So I'm going to put an extra layer of fat there. Doesn't matter what you're eating. Your body's going to do that. The metabolism drops, the blood sugar spikes to get the brain some fuel, and then it will crash. And then the stage 3 is the exhaustion phase, where adrenals cannot keep up. Cortisol levels drop too low, the energy tanks, and the body steals resources from other hormones like DHEA, progesterone, testosterone, try to keeping things going. And your free T3 is going to plummet. That's your metabolism, your thyroid hormone. And that T4 that's inactive is going to start converting into that reverse T3, and that's your survival hormone, shutting down the metabolism, focusing on that weight accumulation around the gut. And all of these things are going to cause leaky gut. I'm sorry. What's with leaky gut? You've got holes in your intestinal lining, so it's going to allow food and particles to get through into your blood system, and that's going to cause systemic inflammation. Then your autoimmune disease gets worse, and it's been dormant for 10 years, and all of a sudden it's flaring up again. Your skin is reacting. You're getting acne breakouts. You're getting rosacea, psoriasis, eczema, and it has all been handled for a while, and now all of a sudden it's breaking out. So we've got these things, these stages, and you don't want to get to that exhaustion phase, because then your hormones are completely out of whack, and it doesn't matter what supplements you take, because your hormonal supplements are not going to be processed right by your liver. Everything happens in your liver. That's why it's really important to focus on your liver when you're focusing on your adrenals and your thyroid. So what are the top triggers for adrenal burnout? emotional stress, ongoing work pressure, relationship issues, caregiving. If you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s as a woman, you might have aging parents you're taking care of and grown adults. And as my preschool teacher always said, she said, Sarah, little kids, little problems. You're changing diapers. They're peeing on you. That's not a big deal. But big kids, big problems. You're now worried about their spouse or how are they raising their kids and that sort of thing. Financial issues for your kids. So we're sandwiched and we have all of these stressors that we didn't ask for. So you've got the emotional stress, the acute stress, maybe like a car accident, a heated argument, divorce, a death in the family, blood sugar roller coaster. So high carb meals, frequent snacking, caffeine on an empty stomach, those will affect your blood sugar. And we're in a world where our diet is 70% processed foods, and you're thinking it's real food. Those aren't real food. Even the organic, ketogenic, high protein bars are processed food. You don't know what they're putting in there. You don't know what toxins are in the facilities that are making those bars. Those toxins are a stressor on your liver. And then you've got the overtraining. As we're getting older and our hormones are going down, we're eating less, we're working out more, and that's only making us worse. Our adrenals said, I can't do this. Because guess what? Your ovaries have died and your adrenals are taking over the female hormone production. So your adrenals are being asked to do more than they were when you were 20. So now on top of all the stress you're under, your adrenals are actually doing more work on a daily basis than you were in your 20s and 30s. That's why my daughters can work out for 4 hours a day and I can't. I used to be able to, no more. So overtraining, long cardio without recovery days, daily HIIT training. I'm all about HIIT training, but not every day. That can really burn out your adrenals and tax your system. Inflammation overload, so chronic infections, hidden mold exposure, autoimmune disease. I've talked a lot about my situation with the shingles and the parasites last year, and my body was under threat. Severe stress. My nervous system was all shot. It was shot. I had to do really a good job in keeping myself together and dealing with just daily stressors. And my liver was overwhelmed because of all of this chronic infection that it was dealing with. You have circadian disruption just by being on your phone late at night. That is affecting your circadian rhythms. The blue light is a stressor. Travel is a stressor. I just went across country and the jet lag and the time change, really a big stressor on our bodies. People do not give sleep enough attention. I look at my Oura ring and it's not just about the amount of hours you're sleeping. It's about the quality of your sleep. You'll feel it. So if you're shift work or jet lag or you're on your screen time late at night, you got to stop. Our kids, why do you think their anxiety and depressions are through the roof? The number one question a psychologist should give that child is, how much are you on your screen time after 10 o'clock? Because a lot of these kids are up until 2 a.m., so they're not getting sleep, and they've got their brains scrambled with the blue light and the EMFs. And you wonder why your kid's not being nice to you. So circadian rhythm's huge. Toxic exposures, pesticides, heavy metals, the endocrine disruptors. We're talking about them a lot. And I even have a hard time getting my own family to understand that this is a real thing. It's not just for granola tree huggers talking about eating organic anymore. Our world is toxic. It has been taken over and we have to do something about it. And these things are stressors to the body. And then undiagnosed thyroid issues, because the thyroid adrenal connection keeps us both stuck in that stress loop. So what are the red flag symptoms? Morning fatigue. You're waking up feeling hungover without drinking. Afternoon crashes between 2 and 5 p.m. You're needing sugar, caffeine, a nap. You're tired but wired. Salt cravings, because guess what? Your adrenals use more salt and iodine when they are stressed. the body is begging for that mineral replenishment. And that's why a lot of you, if you're not getting that extra salt, you're lightheaded, you're dizzy, you want to fall over. Low aldosterone, another stress hormone, and electrolyte imbalance will cause that because the adrenals are not getting enough salt. Brain fog, you can't focus, anxiety and irritability, and frequent illness. Like I said, your immune system is down with that long-term chronic stress. You're not recovering very well from your workouts or even small injuries. Loss of muscle tone. This happened to me, people. When you're stressed, your cortisol eats away at your muscles. They're not the right ones. It'll put on the fat around the belly, the big shoulder fat, but then it's eating away at your butt and your thighs especially. And then you've got the skinny legs and the big belly look. That is adrenal body. And then low blood pressure, especially if you are dizzy. So a lot of these symptoms can be characteristics of Addison's disease, very rare, but it's a form of adrenal insufficiency. So highly doubt you have it, but that is something to think about. So when your cortisol levels are out of sync, the effects can ripple throughout the body. It can lead to weight gain, high blood pressure, weakened immune system, right? Making you more susceptible to getting illness and a slow recovery. Mental health can take a hit. I mean, when you are going to be more anxious, depressed, mood swings, cortisol imbalances doesn't just affect your body, it disrupts your natural rhythms, leading to trouble falling asleep, but we need that sleep, right? So it's this double-edged sword. And then it creates this bigger vicious cycle, because then when we don't sleep, every little stressor seems bigger. So if your adrenal glands aren't producing enough cortisol, this is where we get into adrenal insufficiency. And so what we want to do first is, number one, your diet. Get rid of the processed foods. I know that's what you're craving. I know that's what you want, but get rid of them. Focus on prioritizing protein. Now, I love my wild animal protein. I've got 2 daughters in dorm situations or college. One of the most difficult places to find good food. There are hundreds of companies around the states that deliver directly to you wild animal protein. Bison, venison, elk, ground lamb, wild fish. Now, if you need a quick snack, there's organic beef sticks or organic venison sticks. I love forceofnature.com. I'll put the link in below to order from them, but there are a whole bunch of other companies as well. You can get smoked wild salmon as a quick fix, as a quick snack. That fatty or not so fatty wild protein is going to stabilize your blood sugar. Tell your body, hey, I'm safe. I'm getting what I need. And using the accelerated food guide, which the link is below, to find the right vegetables and fruits to stabilize your blood sugar and to feel great. Now, yes, you can have sugars when it comes into the packaging of whole fruits, whole organic fruits. You don't want to reach for the processed foods. That is what is going to trigger the roller coaster where it's actually going to make your stress worse. So this is really important. You want to stay away from the excess sugar, the unhealthy fats, the seed oils, canola oil. Those will only inflame your body, back up your liver, and put more stress on the body. Stay hydrated. Not just water, it's electrolytes. And manage that caffeine. So I love my cup of coffee. And I will get to a point sometimes where I'm like, oh, coffee cup number 2 tastes really good. Oh, coffee cup number 3, I really want it. That's when I know I got to back off. I'm good with 1 to 2 cups of coffee. People metabolize caffeine differently, slow or fast. So listen to your body. But if you're reaching for cup 3 and 4, you might want to back off and think, okay, I need to reset my cortisol. That excessive caffeine intake can disrupt your body's natural rhythms, making it harder for your adrenal glands to recover and actually worsen your adrenal health. So you want to sleep. And I love using my Oura Ring. You can use another device if you want, or just try to get to bed. for sure before 10 o'clock. I'm in bed and winding down at around 8, but I also get up early. So 10 o'clock is when, if you go to bed after 10 o'clock, you're missing that great window for deep sleep. So you want to be getting into bed and trying to go to sleep before 10 o'clock. You want that restful night of sleep. That is the most powerful thing you can do for yourself, and that quality sleep. Mindfulness and relaxation, calm your inner storm. You have to be proactive. Yoga, meditation, journaling, deep breathing. There are so many apps out there you can use. There's lots of programs. There's lots of yoga classes. You don't have to be doing this alone. Talking to friends, all of those things help your cortisol and help your relaxation. Now, what else do you do? This is where the cortisol reset supplements come in. My Cortisol Reset Master Guide and Detox program is designed to give you a lot more than these orange juice drinks with some salt. That's great, but full of sugar, not gonna cut it. You want to be addressing your thyroid health and your liver health as you're addressing your adrenals, because they all three work together. Number one is the accelerating iodine. Without iodine, your thyroid cannot make T4 or T3. That stands for tyrosine and 4 and 3 molecules of iodine. How can you have thyroid hormones without iodine if that's part of the actual thyroid hormone? Your adrenals have to overwork to compensate if you don't have enough iodine. And when you don't have, or when your adrenals are overworked, they're using more iodine and salt than when they're regular or under regular amounts of stress. And not all iodine is created equal. Accelerating iodine is different. It's the only iodine formulated that is close to 100% bioavailable, monoatomic, meaning one molecule of iodine that's going in and waiting to just attach to all of your cells. It is paired with 200 proof organic non-GMO alcohol, which is the most bioavailable carrier. If your supplement has glycerin or an alcohol that's not organic or an alcohol that's not 200 proof, the bioavailability is not there. So that is where accelerating iodine comes in. Iodine helps with lower cortisol by kickstarting the thyroid hormone production, so your adrenals aren't carrying the whole load. Supports that adrenal sensitivity to the ACTH, the brain signaling that tells them to make cortisol. Detoxes the halogens, those toxins that are actually stressing out your body in that chemical way. It boosts mitochondria health, that ATP production, so energy comes from the cell's metabolism, not the stress hormone. Now, paired with that is the accelerated ancient salt. We use tons of salt when we are under stress. It regulates aldosterone, which controls sodium and potassium. Low sodium equals low blood volume, which equals fatigue, dizziness, and brain fog. So it will help replenish the sodium lost during stress. When cortisol and adrenaline go up, the adrenal glands trigger the kidneys to excrete more sodium, and that low sodium can lead to dizziness, low energy, brain fog. And the minerals in accelerated ancient salt, there's over 62 minerals, help restore that pure, clean sodium without the contaminants that are in most Himalayan salts and commercial salts. It helps maintain the blood pressure and your stamina and hydration. That's why it's also super important for athletes. It supports the sodium iodide transporter. So what is that? Well, your body's ability to absorb and utilize the iodine it needs depends on this symporter, a transport system that moves the iodine into the thyroid, the breast, the ovaries, and the other tissues. Without that adequate sodium, this transporter cannot work. And then you're not even getting what you need out of the iodine. So that unrefined salt, like accelerated ancient salt, gives you that foundation so that the iodine can get to where it needs to go. And it has over 62 minerals. So it's not just the sodium alone. It's magnesium, potassium, calcium, boron, all of the others that you need for nerve signaling, hormone production, and muscle relaxation. So this is giving you all of your minerals. It supports the aldosterone balance. So this is an adrenal hormone that regulates the sodium and potassium levels. Low aldosterone is common in adrenal burnout, leading to the dehydration, doesn't matter how much water you're drinking, and low blood pressure. So it helps normalize that aldosterone activity for the better fluid balance, intracellular and extracellular. It helps power that sodium-potassium pump. So every cell in your body relies on this sodium-potassium pump to maintain that electrical charge inside and outside the cells to allow the nutrients to get into the cell and the toxins to get out. And it helps also regulate the nerve impulses, the muscle contractions. The cells are talking to each other, your heart rhythm. Without enough sodium, the pump slows down, leading to fatigue, poor nutrient absorption, and you're not getting rid of those toxins. And it also helps with improving that cellular hydration. So we want those cells to be hydrated. We don't want extracellular hydration outside the cells. We want intracellular hydration. Then you have adrenaline. This is a supplement that rebuilds that battery pack, the adrenals. We don't want to take it long term, but 1 to 3 months is great. It just gives you that adrenal glandular to help give you that battery pack when you've exhausted your own. It feeds and repairs the adrenal cortex and medulla. It balances your cortisol output. It restores the DHEA production. Then with that, you have the accelerated thyroid. The thyroid and the adrenals communicate with that HPA and the HPT axis, the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis and thyroid axis. If the thyroid's slow, the adrenals are overtaxed. If the adrenals are weak, the thyroid hormone conversion suffers and the wheels fall off. So accelerated thyroid contains thyroid glandular to nourish and support the T4 and T3 production, which is necessary for the whole endocrine system, even your hormones. It includes adaptogen herbs to help with your stress, water retention. It helps optimize the T4 to T3 conversion. It reduces the demand on the adrenals, and it gives you a full spectrum hormonal health. It works synergistically with the accelerated iodine and the adrenaline. Now, lastly is the accelerated liver care. I told you the T4 to T3 conversion happens in the liver. The liver is where we detox. That's a stressor. So if our liver isn't functioning right, our adrenal health is going to suffer, our cortisol is going to suffer. So it flushes out toxins, the excess estrogens, the hormone metabolites that bog down the adrenal function, that make us not be able to burn fat. It makes us, if our liver's backed up, we're storing fat. We can't build our muscles with the protein we're taking in. The accelerated liver care ingredients improve the bile flow to get better absorption of the nutrients, but also to get rid of the toxins, activates autophagy, clears out the damaged cells, and helps with your mitochondria. It's got ingredients that you've heard of like tudka and milk thistle, but ones that you haven't heard of like palperera and cooktea, and they work synergistically together. There is no liver formula like it. This is the one that turned my health around when my liver was under attack. From parasites, from the shingles, from the spike protein, all in one. And my liver said, no, thank you. So this was my game changer. So with that, you want to focus on your morning sunlight. Get out there when the sun's just coming up, 10 to 15 minutes. And then you can have your protein first. Fasting's great for some people at some times in their life. When you have low cortisol or adrenal fatigue, I don't think fasting is good for you, especially if you're a woman. Eat that protein. You can have 20 to 30 grams. It helps stabilize your blood sugar and tells your body you're safe, and we can lower stress. Have your salt, your accelerated salt and water before your coffee. First your iodine, then your salt and water, and then have your coffee. I also like to put my salt in my coffee. Then you want to focus on a consistent sleep schedule. Don't not sleep during the week and then try to catch up on the weekends. It doesn't work like that. Your body's smart. And then your low impact movement, walking, especially at night after dinner, is a great time. Take your dogs out, lowers your cortisol. Yoga, light strength training, Avoid the long, intense cardio. It is backfiring. You're not burning the calories you think you are anyway. And have a digital sunset. Limit the blue light after dark, and that will help your melatonin production and help your sleep. Focus on that breath work, meditation, and that anti-inflammatory diet. So focus on the foods in the accelerated food guide, the wild animal proteins, fruits and vegetables, but get rid of the processed foods. And engage in positive activities. Try to get rid of the people that are a little toxic and negative and focus on the ones that are, make you feel a little good, right? Burst of oxytocin is going to help. So these are the ways to get that cortisol reset. You're rebuilding your adrenal tissue, your thyroid function, you're replenishing your minerals, you're clearing out the toxins, but then you're also adding in the lifestyle hacks that complement this and work synergistically. Does this sound like you? Do you feel like you just have nothing in the tank? Make sure you click and grab the Cortisol Reset Detox. And I will take you through a month of how to get your body back on track. If your hormones are out of whack, your thyroid's out of whack, it might be your adrenals because they all work together. So thanks for tuning in today. Leave a comment below if this sounds like you. What are your questions? Join my free group coaching. You can ask even more questions there and learn on a daily basis to take your health back because we're all way too stressed. And like I said, the stress isn't going away. It's how we deal with it. You can head to SaraBantaHealth.com for my articles and more. That's where the link is to join my free group coaching. You can also go to acceleratedhealthproducts.com for the cortisol reset cleanse and you can use coupon podcast 10 on any single item orders. We all need this reset, me included. If you loved what you heard today, share it with a friend. They're suffering too. That's not only going to help them, it's going to help this podcast reach more people like you so I can get better guests, better topics, and help more and more people on a daily basis. You can find me anywhere on over 100 different platforms, including Spotify, Apple, YouTube, E360, iHeartRadio, Amazon, and Roku, just by searching Accelerated Health with Sara Banta. And remember, I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So join me next time for more ways to unlock your health potential.